to change anything, I move that we approve this minutes of the April 2022 meeting. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
second the
Second it.
motion.
Michelle
I second it.
and I second. Oh,
Can I
Okay,
just
so
say something? I need
Yes.
to look, I'm sorry. I need to look at something real quick, only because I'm sorry to be a pain in the neck.
no, it's fine.
I meant to call. I don't know if I'm excused for them meeting. That was my second day with COVID. So
Oh, I'm so
that's
sorry to
why
hear
I
that.
didn't attend. Yeah, I'm fine now, thank God. It's a month later. But I know that sometimes we designate absences as excused, and if I'm marked absent, I'd like that to be amended to excuse.
Okay, so we'll take that amendment. If you are marked absent, we'll excuse you from that since you had COVID. Thank you, Sandra. Anybody else
Thank you, guys.
anybody have any other there's someone who has a lot of static going on. If you could just put yourself on mute.
On that same note, I just want to make sure that mine was also marked as excused. I had emailed a couple days before because of Ramadan. You're muted.
You're muted. Maria Elena, you're muted.
You muted me. Oh my goodness, what a crazy night. I did not mute myself. That is so strange. So thank you, Alex and Sandy. I'll make sure that Margaret checks that, and then excuse both of you because I do know, obviously, that is Alex too. You reached out. Thank you. Does anyone else have any changes to the minutes?
It's okay.
Okay, so the motion passes. I'm gonna put seconded by Michelle because there was a lot of people speaking at once. I clearly heard Michelle, so if that's okay with everyone.
Yes.
And we will check those two absences and make sure that they are excused. Thank you so much, everyone. So moving on to my report. I do have a few things to talk about. I hope everyone had a wonderful Mother's Day and you all got to celebrate with your mothers and your family and friends. You know, I know there's a lot of moms on this board, so happy belated Mother's Day to you. And I also wanted to say I did attend last night's borough board meeting. We had a presentation from DYCD, and then we also have a resolution that is proposed. It's going to be called the Smoke-Free Housing Resolution, and it's basically giving the landlord or homeowner the right to make their building smoke-free if they want to. There's a lot of background noise. Christina, could you mute everyone? We started late and then we constantly interrupted. Okay, thank you. So it's a housing resolution that basically gives the right to any homeowner or landlord if they want to make their building smoke free. We had to postpone the vote because there was a lot of verbiage that had to be changed. So we're going to be postponing that to the next borough board meeting. So if you want any more information on that, I could, we could definitely give that. And then I do have a couple of things to talk about. You will be getting an email. I don't know exactly when, but soon. We have a little bit of time. We got a notice from the Boards of Standards and Appeal, New York City, and they're going to have a meeting on June 7th, 2022 at 10 a.m. There'll be sorry, there's someone coughing. There'll be a hearing on 109-52 54th Avenue in Corona. Now the board voted on this. We voted no to approve this. Basically they want to go against the current zoning, which was changed. They bought the property before the zoning was changed, and they started a foundation. Then the project has stalled since like 1989. And now they want to go back and build their project from before the zoning was changed. So of course the board voted no on this because they waited since 1989 to do anything, which is absolutely crazy. and the community did change the zoning in that area to be more residential. So we voted no. You guys do have an opportunity to write testimony or actually go to the meeting. So we will be sending that notice out in case any of the board members would like to attend or send in testimony. And if you need any more information on that, it will be also in the email. And I do want to report, unfortunately, that the Yanta House that the board voted yes to Landmark and several other groups showed a lot of support. It has been demolished. And I want to thank Councilmember Shaker for doing a fantastic job with holding the LPC accountable for not representing immigrant individuals or groups and the lack of immigrant landmark sites in New York City. And currently the site has stop work orders and violations for the developers not following proper procedures of demolition as per the DOB. So that's unfortunate news. And the last thing I want to report on is I am going to call to form a bylaw committee. So I would like to form one ASAP due to some issues that we had discussed about in the nominating committee that we had 2 months ago. And it was myself, Lou, Sandra, and Ashley who were on that committee who did talk about some issues that we need to revise. So basically the bylaw committee, anytime there's an issue or something that we say, well, there's something that we need to improve on or change, the chair calls for a bylaw committee, and then we propose those changes. It has to go to the full board, the proposals, and the full board has to vote on it. So that's the way it works. So I am calling the committee. It's going to be myself as chair, Lou, Sandra, and Ashley, since we do know those issues that we brought up. And we are able to accept one more person if you're interested in joining the bylaw committee. So if someone else is interested, you need to have a knowledge of procedure. You need to have somewhat of a knowledge of the bylaws and of course Robert rules. And unfortunately, you can't be a new member since you're so new. You've been here for 1 month. It has to be someone that was here, prior to the new board members. So if anyone's interested, please submit your name to the board office. But if Lou, Sandra, and Ashley accept that to be on the bylaw committee because of the issues that we saw, please let me know if you also accept that as well.
I accept. Thank you, Lou Walker.
We accept.
Thank you, Lou. Sandra? Oh, we can't hear you.
Yes, I accept.
Great. And Ashley?
I accept.
Thank you. So hopefully we can work together since we know what the issues are. And I'm hoping to hear from some other people that are interested. So please just email Christian, Margaret, or Christina and just submit your name. Okay, and that's actually it for my report. I know Christian has a few things to talk about.
I want to make sure, first off, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
You can. All right, perfect. So what I'm doing is I'm actually, just because we went too many technical difficulties, so I'm calling in from my phone. I don't want to be talking to the cam. Don't want anything else to go wrong. So welcome everybody again. Sorry about that. We don't know what happened. Not even I was able to get in, but I'm not going to keep you guys too long. My reports are usually pretty short, and I just report throughout the night on several items that we have coming up. So I'll begin with something that happened several months back. You guys will recall that the FDNY Fire Department came to us with a redesign project for Engine 287. It was somewhat of a confusing vote for us in that we weren't exactly sure what we were looking into. It just so happens that the FDNY was also somewhat confused on the process. So what I can do is just fast forward to where we are today, and that a letter was finally sent, or rather was finally drafted, and the FDNY will have it on hand tomorrow. In the letter, we did specifically mention that it's not that we are supporting the project, but that we accept the fact that we understand the condition at the firehouse, at which point both Marilena and I and Margaret we all worked on just trying to put as many details as possible in the historical aspect of what happened to the building, and let's just hope that it's considered when the firehouse is designed. So at this point, it doesn't stand as a letter of support, just a letter of receipt citing our concerns. Another item that we have coming up, those will know there is a major push on the MTA bus redesign throughout the entire borough. I know for a fact that Matt McElroy, our transportation chair, along with the committee, have been working really hard to try to, just just spread the word, and we'll be doing the same. As such, please do have do look out. I do intend on going out to canvass the local community. I've already, heard concerns from some of our board members who feel that we're not doing everything we can to get the word out there as to what the MTA is doing. We also called up the MTA, all the DMs got together and explained to them that this is something that should be much more heavily showcased. We want to see it on New York One. We want to see it on all the local news channels. It's much larger than just the local community board. So we hope to be able to push that furthermore. And later on, Matt, our transportation chair, will discuss next steps, as there will be a meeting with the MTA sometime soon. As far as other events, one of our newer members, we're working with DCAS, the Department of Citywide Administrative Services, on bringing a workshop to the local community regarding jobs. We understand that one of the big issues we've had in the community has been lack of jobs, specifically around the youth. And what we're trying to do is have a workshop set up where DCAS can come out and do a quick workshop on what it's like to, how to apply for city services, how to get a city job, et cetera, et cetera. It seems to be a pretty short workshop, and I have a meeting with them tomorrow to discuss it. And if all goes well, somewhere between mid to end of June, we'll be seeing it. And Marilyn, I can touch on the application. I'll do it really quickly. We do have an application that's going to be coming, a zoning application coming to the board. It seems that we're looking at a certification date of early June, but it just doesn't give us enough time to be able to properly do the necessary public. For those who don't know what the project is, there is a residential element that will be coming to the Food Bazaar over on 57th Avenue in Lefrak. As such, it is as of right to our understanding, but nonetheless, we still need a public hearing. All that to say that the board members, this is for the first time in many years, we may be holding a summer session. And the summer session won't be necessarily a full board meeting, but instead it will be a public hearing, which requires a much smaller quorum. But just based on the time frame that the application came to us, we have 90 days to respond to it since it came during our recess, but it'll come back, we will have until September, but it falls on Labor Day weekend. As such, we will very likely be doing this during the summer months, so please do stand by. As far as office operations, and I'll leave it at this, I did speak to the new members very recently regarding our needs statements. It was a great orientation. All the members, I want to see the new members understood it all. We were there for quite some time. But one of the issues that I did bring up was that you guys don't have your polo shirts. So a lot of the members, older and new members, have not received your CB4 polo shirts. Now, the reason I bring them up now is because during COVID, we actually stopped all that. We were not meeting in person. As such, in the next day or so, you should be getting something from the board office asking you what size shirt you have. It's a very basic navy blue shirt with the orange logo on it. It says CB4. On the back, it says servicing the communities. And of course, we encourage you to wear them to any community events, cleanup events to be identified. It works out for photo ops and whatnot. And of course, we encourage you to wear them whenever possible. And the last thing, since we're talking about open meetings, is that as the beginning of June, and Christina or somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's June 5th. I'm a little frazzled right now, but June 5th, we are now obligated to go back to in-person meetings. So we're still trying to figure out whether or not we will be doing that, or if perhaps we can bump our meeting up just before that takes place for the June meeting. That way we have the entire summer to figure out, because we're having a little bit of a difficult time securing a space for in-person meetings. But unless it gets extended, we are looking at June, back to in-person meetings with the possibility of a hybrid if we choose to do so via online. But that's not something that we're exploring just yet. And like I said, as always, I'd rather just report throughout the night on any items that come up. Sorry if I went too fast, but we are running a little behind. So thanks, Marilyn.
Thank you, Christian. So now I'm going to be doing.
May I ask a question about the Food Bazaar? Are they building on top of it?
Correct. Yeah. So my understanding, and again, just on the brief that I've understood, they are renovating the supermarket, but they're also adding a residential component above the existing structure and the rear of the building. And it's apparently as of right. I wasn't aware there was an as of right element to that would allow residential, but there is.
Thank you.
Yeah. Correct. You got it, Lou. But again, you guys will receive all that information. It's the one thing that we're taking extremely seriously. Oh, and last thing, while I have you here, school construction authority. You guys will recall that we were looking at a new high school that was supposed to be coming to our district. Unfortunately, we don't know what happened with that. It seems to have been squashed, or at the very least dead for now. But I did reach out to school construction. They did mention that it is not dead, but that for now it is just dormant until it is reopened. So at this point, there is nothing happening with the new high school in the area of Corona, as was previously discussed at the last board meeting. But sorry about that. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Christian.
I actually want to add, because I don't think the 110th is here tonight, but we did get word from Detective Sapanieri from the 110th that 8105 Queens Boulevard, last week they made about 10 arrests, and they got rid of all those bikes. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but there was bikes taking up the whole sidewalk illegally. They were working on it. They were selling them. They took over a whole storefront in a building. I don't understand how that happens, who the landlord or owner of that building is, but they were able to make arrests. They confiscated heavy drugs, and all those bikes were, of course, illegal. So all that has been cleaned up, but we have to keep an eye on it to make sure that it doesn't come back. And we do have to do some stuff. I'm hoping that me and Christian could write something to the DOB about the conditions of that building. There's just issue after issue, but we did get word from the 110, so I just wanted to report that since they can't be here tonight.
Marilyn, if I can get this, it'll literally be 10 more seconds. And this is one last thing. For those members who attended the orientation the other day, nice meeting many of you. I did see a few of the new members down there. But there was several questions regarding that orientation, as in when would the board be receiving the link? Rather, the rest of the board will be receiving the link as to what was discussed that night. And Borough Hall has not given us that link yet. Once we get that link, I'll share it with the full board. But I've also asked them to send us any inserts that were handed out that night. Among those inserts, I think there was some brief understanding on ULURP and zoning, but there was also a code of conduct that was submitted. And in that code of conduct, they mentioned absences, excused absences, how to go about an absence, what's expected of you at the meeting and whatnot. So it's not only for the newer members, but for the older as well. So in the next couple of days, once I get the link from the orientation, I'll get that to you, and I'll also include any attachments and inserts that were handed on that night. That's something I've been promising you guys, but I just forgot. So, or rather, excuse me, I just now remembered that I haven't received it yet. So you'll be getting that soon. Thanks. I'm done.
Thank you, Christian. Okay, so I'm going to move on to attendance. Board members, if you have anything to state, you have 2 minutes. Okay, Ranoka Ashkahan, sorry.
Asha Khan, I have nothing to state. Thank you.
Thank you. Michelle Calderon. No, actually, Lou, you're supposed to be doing.
I'm here. Hi, present.
Hello,
Good
Michelle.
evening.
Okay, thank you. Valerie Calderon. Chao Chung Chen.
Yeah.
Jamie Cho. I know she was on earlier.
Yeah. Jamie's here. Jamie,
Okay.
you're unmuted.
Present? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I'm present.
Thank you. Linda Corral. I see her. Daring Deshen. Michelle Dunstan.
Present. Hello, everyone. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. I am welcome to all the new board members, and also thank you again for electing me to be the chair of the Consumer Affair. And I need help, so teamwork make the dream work. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Aria Spinall. Leanne G. Bally. Marilena Jampino here. Lara Gregory. Ramakrishna Padukla. Sorry.
Rama is fine. I'm here.
Rama. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sapidra Lama. Vincent Losella.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, board members. I just want to go over our event coming up for June 4th at Flushing Meadows Park at the Globe. It's going to start at 11 o'clock. It's going to run through 4 p.m. We actually managed to bring in vision experts. We're going to be doing vision testing and as well as diabetes. We have quite a few vendors coming down quite a few different agencies that'll be in attendance, as well as Corona Ambulance, the 110 Precinct, the Community Board. We hope you all come down, support, share the message. If anybody's interested, I'll give you the contact information for the president of the Lions Club, which is Mildred Ramirez at 718-607-0343. I will put the number in the box below. That's on the June 4th event. The next important thing we have coming up is the 110 Precinct Community Council meeting. That's going to be at St. Bart's this Thursday, 5/12 at 7 p.m. Just so the community is aware, especially Elmhurst, Louis Pizza, both father and son, will be receiving awards from not only the precinct but from the community council for their heroics and bravery that they displayed in breaking up the robbery. That's the good news. Now we're going to move on to some of the things that aren't reported in Corona, and that's going to be 2 electrical bike accidents that occurred. One on April 22nd, where a young Greek girl was hit by a deliverista on 104th Street, in which the deliverista left the scene of the accident. We have video. The precinct is still working to track down this gentleman. And then exactly a week later, in front of the Community Board 4 office on April 29th, another woman was hit by an electric bike going up the wrong direction. And again, neither the DOT or Transportation Alternatives has any record of these accidents, which I find a little bit funny. But as you know me, I have a big mouth and we'll make sure that these incidents are reported. I'm not going to comment on state representatives that allow this to happen. We can go on enforcement, but I'm not going to bash anybody. I just think the community should be aware of what's going on and the public safety at risk. The last thing I'm going to comment on is I came out this morning. I had my car parked in front of Margaret from the community board's home. My car was vandalized, broken into. We have a number of break-ins on Allstein Avenue in Corona, I'm sure all around. In meeting with the 110 precinct this morning, it's almost funny because they know the perpetrators they know the same perpetrators. It's called catch and release. They're on first name basis with all these guys. Another failure of bail reform. Again, I'm not going to pick a fight with the state representatives, but you are going to start owning what your legislation did. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. God bless.
Thank you, Vinny, for the report. James Salvatore Lombardo. Carol Machos, Maholsky.
Hi, everybody. I've got 2 things I'd like to mention. And I wore my CB4 shirt to the PS14 Health Fair on May 7th, which was last Saturday. And they had a pretty good turnout. The other thing, I was wondering if everybody, or most everybody, completed the comptroller's survey on sanitation services. Apparently, he's about to do another audit like he did for the rain gardens. And so I completed it, and I hope everybody else took a crack at it too. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Carol. And if anybody's wondering what Carol's referencing, in your email for the notice of tonight's meeting, there was a link from the comptroller about if you want to fill out a survey for sanitation. So if anyone's interested. Sunil Mahat.
Good evening. I'm here.
Thank you. Abu Mahmood.
Yes, I am present. Thank you very much. My first meeting with you. I'm happy to get you everybody together. We'll work together. I feel pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Abu, and congratulations. Welcome.
You're welcome.
Patricia Martin. Sylvia Martin. Matthew McElroy.
I'm still having a few issues. We're trying to get him in.
Okay, thank you, Christina.
No problem.
Ravenia McGowan.
Yeah, she's here. Let me unmute.
Hello, Kara?
Hi, Ravinia?
Yes.
Hello.
Say yes. Hello.
Hi, Ravinia. We can hear you.
Hi. It's nice to join you. I'm happy to be with you at this meeting.
Thank you, Ravinia. Glad you can make it.
Yes, Thank you.
Mac Ryan Merchan,
Present.
Jose Murillo, I see that he's here. Okay. Edgar Moya,
Present.
thank you. Ruby Muhammad, Sandra Munez,
I'm here. Hello, everybody. COVID is no joke. I just want to let everyone know. So stay safe.
well, I'm glad you're feeling better. Athena G. Oliver,
Yes, I'm here.
great. Georgina Oliver,
Here.
perfect. Alexandra Owens,
Here, and I concur with what Sandy said. I could at the same time, and it was not fun. Glad Sandy's better.
glad you're better too. Shrima Pandey,
Yes, I'm present.
perfect, thank you. Haru Panthi,
Yes, I'm present. Thank you.
you're welcome. Alexa Ponce, Lindsay Quartini,
Hi, good evening. I'm here.
thank you. Brian Ramirez, Ashley Reed,
Present.
thank you. Christian Romero,
Present.
thank you. Clara Salas,
I am here and wish to all mothers happy Mother's Day and for June, all the fathers, happy Father's Day. And I look forward to our future in-person meetings. We'll probably have it in September, if not in June. Thank you.
thank you, Clara. Red Sevilla, okay. Ergen Sherpa, Alton Derek Smith,
Present.
Dewan Tariq, Marcello Testa, Charlie Tetsevetsky, Lou Walker,
Okay, I'm here and I have a few things to say. The car break-ins are occurring throughout Corona, and I've seen them in various places. Different year cars, so it's not even new or old cars. I don't know what they're getting, but I guess they must get something out of it. The other thing that's happening is we have a lot of cars running red lights very regularly, speeding too much. The alternative vehicles are riding on the sidewalk and the street and back and forth. I mean, I don't know where they're supposed to go, and I don't think they know where they're supposed to go. And it's just very dangerous out here. The other thing is in Flushing Meadow Park, the parking lot that serves the zoo and the carousel area. It looks like people are actually selling cars or leaving cars abandoned in that lot. And I don't know what the park is doing, if anything, about it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
thank you, Lou. Yilin Wang, Minwen Yang,
Here.
thank you, and Mei Yu. Okay, so we do have a quorum, and if anybody else gets on, I do see Matt, he got on.
Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Matt.
Valerie is also
Currently
here.
no video.
And Valerie too? Okay, and Valerie. Okay, got it. So if anyone else gets on, we'll keep an eye out. And just for the sake of time, I know we started late and have so many issues. Christina, can you just let me know what elected official representatives are currently on?
Yes, we have from Assemblymember Cruz's office, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, Councilmember Moya, Congresswoman Grace Meng, Councilmember Krishnan, and the Queen's DA.
Okay, can you please call them in order for me?
Sure. All right, let's just go with the Congress people first. Michelle from Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. 1 second, let me just. Okay, Michelle, you're unmuted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hey, thank you so much. So we recently received, so sorry. Good evening, everybody. So my name is Michelle, and I'm a constituent liaison at the Office of Representative Ocasio-Cortez, in case anybody's just joining us and is brand new, and congratulations. So we recently received over 5,000 at-home COVID-19 test kits from the state of New York. And over the past several weeks, we've partnered with grassroots community organizations to get these at-home tests to the Bronx and Queens residents who need them the most. Last Wednesday, our office distributed 1,000 of these at-home test kits directly to Corona residents at Corona Plaza during the evening rush hour. Thank you so much to everyone who stopped by. On April 20th, we hosted our second in-person town hall of the year in Astoria. The Congresswoman discussed advancements in addressing the climate crisis since the introduction of our Green New Deal resolution. Following our lead, at least 10 local Green New Deals have been introduced in places such as, of course, New York City, LA, Portland, and New Mexico. With the recent passage of the fiscal year 2022 appropriations omnibus, our office secured funding for over 300 students at SUNY Maritime to train for union jobs in wind energy. This is one of the first Green New Deal workforce training programs in the country. Please subscribe to our newsletter for the date and location of our next in-person town hall, which will take place in the Bronx. The Social Security Administration has a new filer tool for those who wish to check their eligibility for supplemental security income, or also known as SSI. The SSI program provides monthly payments to adults and children with a disability or blindness who have income and resources below specific financial limits. SSI payments are also made to people aged 65 and older without disabilities who meet the financial qualifications. I'll make sure to share the link in the chat. We just wrapped up our 2022 Congressional Art Competition. Thank you so much to every high schooler and teacher who participated. We received a record number of submissions this year. We will announce the winner very soon, so please keep an eye on our social media pages. And as always, we welcome questions and comments from constituents. We're also available for casework assistance. Our office is now open for walk-ins Mondays through Thursdays, 9 to 5. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Kyle from Representative Grace Meng.
Yes. Give me
Thank
one
you.
second. Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Great. So I just have two quick main updates. I'll keep it brief because I know we are a bit delayed today. Firstly, the House has passed legislation sponsored by Representative Grace Meng entitled the Commission to Study the Potential Creation of a National Museum of Asian Pacific American History and Culture Act. And this bill would create a commission of 8 individuals with various expertise in museum planning or Asian Pacific American history and culture to examine the feasibility of establishing, maintaining, funding, and operating such a facility in the nation's capital, possibly as part of the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C., which is the world's largest museum and research complex. This bill is now headed to the Senate, where it will hopefully be voted and passed, and headed to President Biden's desk so that this commission can be created, further leading to hopefully the creation of a museum in this regard. The other main update that we have from our office is that Representative Meng is encouraging local houses of worship and nonprofit organizations to start preparing their applications for the federal government's nonprofit security grant program if they are interested in seeking funding for this initiative this year. This program provides synagogues, churches, mosques, temples, and nonprofit institutions such as community centers, schools, and other facilities with federal grants to improve the safety and security of their properties so that they can guard against threats and attacks. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security's Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, the agency that administers the program, has informed Congresswoman Meng's office that it will soon open up this year's application. And along with the application being opened up in the coming weeks to days, The Congresswoman's office was also alerted by the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services that this year there will be an extremely quick turnaround for the applications. It'll likely be less than a 2-week period. So it's very important that nonprofits and houses of worship start gathering the materials necessary together as soon as possible. Those that submit applications from our district, from Congresswoman Grace Meng's district, can reach out to our office for assistance and letters of support. It will be the DC office that will be handling that, and I will put the contact information for that in the chat in just a moment. And actually, Congresswoman Grace Meng was instrumental in helping to secure an unprecedented $250 million for the program this year, which is a $70 million increase over last year's $180 million that was funded, which was already an increase on the year before. So there's a lot of money out there for nonprofits and houses of worship, and we definitely want to encourage and help all of them in submitting these applications. Apart from that, anyone who has federal related casework within our district, I will leave our contact information with email, phone, and the address for our office, which also does now take walk-ins Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And that is all for me. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, so next we'll go with Samantha from Assemblymember Cruz's office. Samantha, you're unmuted.
Okay. Hi everybody. Good afternoon and happy Mother's Day. My name is Samantha and I'm a part of the Assemblywoman's team and I'll be representing her today. I'm gonna keep it really short because I know you guys are backed up, but I wanted to talk about last month's community events that we had. We just had our Mother's Day baby kit distributions last week. We had our first community cleanup in Elmhurst. And we've been also, the assembly member has been visiting different schools in the district to see on what the schools need from her. And upcoming community events that we are going to be having is one this Friday, actually. We're going to be partnering up with NILAG and be having a legal aid clinic with them. So if you guys know of anybody that needs any sort of legal representation or advice, please let them know about this clinical aid that we're having. They can call it's by appointment, and I'll leave the office's information in the comments. We'll also be having a Naleo Get Ready to Vote webinar. So just to inform the community, about voting. And lastly, we will be also having our second community cleanup this Sunday at 10:30 in the morning to 12. And anybody who wants to come is definitely invited. And I just wanted to talk about our district office services. We help with DOL issues, reporting grant larceny cases, public assistance issues like food stamps, HEAP, one-shot deal, Medicaid, and we are also assisting with applying for ERAP, the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. And that's all for today. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so next up, we're gonna have Berenice from Councilmember Moya's office. Berenice, you're unmuted.
Oh, hi, good evening, everyone. This is Berenice from the Office of Councilmember Francisco Moya. I do have a couple of updates. So I don't know if anyone has had the time, but our district office got a bit of a makeover. We do have a mural outside our district office. It's a sunset-inspired mural. This is the 4th beautification project we've done in partnership with Public Color. We also had an Easter event a couple of weeks ago where we were able to bring some joy to our children. We were with our district leader Ari Espinal, Corona Community Ambulance Corps, 110th Precinct, and Year Call of Science. On Earth Day, we actually kicked off our beautification and cleanup efforts. We were able to clean up 82nd Street along with 82nd Street Partnership, DSNY, DEP. This is again the first of many upcoming this summer. So yes, this Saturday we actually have a shred event outside our district office. It's from 11 to 3. This is one of many because, our district is pretty big. So we do have two in East Elmhurst, and we do have one coming that's closer to Lefrak. We are still confirming with DSNY, but once we have the confirmation, we're going to go ahead and send out that flyer. We also, I hope, some of you have been able to join. We have weekly fitness sessions for families, youth, and older New Yorks. So currently we have one, we had one today at Lewis Simmons Parks. It's every Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. until June 28th. These classes include Zumba, other dance, fitness, chair aerobics, and small circuit classes. Tomorrow we have a spin and evening boot camp at Helen Marshall Playground. It's every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. until June 29th. And on Thursday, we have afternoon teen and youth fitness at Parks of the Americas. That's every Thursday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. until June 30th, 2022. This program includes fitness relays, obstacle courses, active games, and fitness challenges. And lastly, in the future, we will have a upcoming we have a partnership with Rooftop Films and Parks Department where we'll be hosting a series of films in our local parks, and we'll be posting that information soon on our social media. So, of course, if you don't have us on social media, please add us there. I'm going to go ahead and post the information on the chat. Thank you very much. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you. All right, so next up we have Shamina from Councilmember Christian's office.
Hi, everyone.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Shamina Rahman. I'm Community Affairs Coordinator for Councilmember Shekhar Krishnan. I just want to say hello to all the new members and also to all the older members. Happy Mother's Day. And also, if you celebrate Ramadan, Eid Mubarak. I want to talk about that as well. We just had month-long fasting for those in the community who celebrate the month of Ramadan and fasting. We worked with Elmhurst Hospital to do Ramadan food giveaways. So we gave about 300 free meals to the district community members, and we also did diabetes talk, stroke talk awareness as well in the local mosque. Moving on to city council legislation, we passed our first piece of legislation, Intro 173A, which is about parks equity in our city. It requires the New York City Parks Department to report to the council annually on city parks in dire need of repairs and the plan and timeline to which they'll have to complete it. This is really important, especially because this past month, our team visited all of the parks in our district in Jackson Heights and Elmhurst, and we assessed what areas would need what types of upgrades and renovations with the Parks Department. So we're really excited to get started on that. We visited some schools in Elmhurst as well, PS7, PS721, and PS13 as well. We are working with them, with the schools, to expand bilingual education programs and resources for culinary space at PS 721. And I believe so far I'll hand it off on that, because I know we're a little late, but thank you so much for having us. And if you have any questions, please reach out to our office. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so next we have Kat Bresler from the Borough President's office. Kat, you're unmuted.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much. Again, big, gracious shout out to everybody that shows up to community board meetings and continues to help run our city's decentralized system. I want to remind you all about queensbp.org/calendar for all of our upcoming events. We have an Aging in Place webinar that I think is always important for our senior community. There's, what else do I want to tell you all about? Learn about Equinor's offshore wind project. Also on May 11th, both the Aging in Place and the offshore wind project are on the 11th. And I think we have an in-house job fair coming up. Let me get the date. Oh, we don't. It's not until June. But I did want to mention that our office launched Operation Urban Sustainability. We had our first meeting tonight. It's a bunch of groups, organizations, and advocacy partners. And we're focusing on how to move our borough forward, thinking about renewable Rikers, proliferating open streets, and multiplying our access to compost. If folks are more interested in that, please do reach out. KBREZLER@queensbp.org. Lovely to see everybody. Thank you for allowing me time to speak.
Thank you so much.
And finally, we have Elizabeth from the Queen's DA's office.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, great. So, thank you for having me today. My name is Elizabeth. I'm representing Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz's office. Since we are in May, so our office wants to wish everyone a happy AAPI month and also happy Jewish Heritage Month. So, please save the date. And Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz will host the AAPI Heritage Month celebration on May 24th. And due to the uptake of the COVID cases, so this time we're still doing the virtual event. And also on May 26th at 11 a.m., Melinda Katz is going to host the Memorial Day observance ceremony. So we will streaming live from the Amherst Park. So please join us for this online event as we pay tribute to those who served to our nations. So thank you so much for having me tonight.
Thank you. So Christina, I think that wraps it up, right?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
No
Thank you so
problem.
much for your help. So now we're going to be moving on to our presentation tonight. It's the Department of Parks and Recreation will be doing a presentation on the Hoffman Park Comfort Station reconstruction. So we will be handing it over to them, and then after the presentation is finished, we will be taking questions, and then we have to just, vote on it.
Good evening. Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I
Will
was
you or
told
Melissa be sharing the screen?
we were told that you'll be sharing your screen and we will just present it.
Okay, not a problem. Give me 1 second.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Great. Okay. So good evening, everybody. My name is Michael Priev. I'm an architect at Civil Rights Services, Department of Parks and Recreations. And tonight I would like to present to you the Hoffman Park Comfort Station reconstruction. The next slide, please. So the goals of the project is to really provide an ADA compliant bathroom layout, replace the old fixtures, electrical systems, plumbing fixtures, upgrade the mechanical systems. We'll also be upgrading the furnace to from gas to electric, and replacing all the fixtures and creating new opening windows to bring the light into the bathrooms. Next, please. So the comfort station is located in the Hoffman Park on the corner of the Woodhaven Boulevard and Hoffman Drive in Queens. Thanks, please. So here you see the existing conditions of the building itself. You see all 4 elevations. The building is currently covered with some type of paint, which will be removing. And next slide, please. This is just a quick diagram that represents the scope for the exterior of the building. So starting off from the roof, we did inspect the roof, and the existing slate roof is in good condition, and it will be to remain. We'll be replacing the fascia of the building and performing necessary masonry work, again removing the paint, creating 2 new openings for the windows that will bring natural light into the bathrooms, replace the doors, and also on the back of the building we'll be installing a new drinking fountain and creating a ADA compliant path to it. Next slide, please. Here you could see the existing conditions of the bathrooms. Currently, as you can see, the fixtures are old, the floor paint is chipping off, and the bathroom stalls are not ADA compliant. Next, please. And this is, next, please. And here you see the existing conditions of the mechanical room. Like I said, we'll be replacing the furnace with an electrical furnace, upgrading all the plumbing systems as well. Next, please. This is the existing floor plan of the building. It outlines the scope which I just mentioned. We will be opening 2 new windows in each bathroom, replacing all the fixtures and replacing all the doors. Next, please. And this is the proposed plan, which shows the new bathroom layout with new windows and new doors, and also area where we will be installing new drinking fountain on the exterior of the building. Next, please. This is just building elevations. After the construction will be completed, that's how it's going to look like. We'll be replacing the doors. Each side of the building will receive a security wall mounted light fixture, new windows for the bathrooms, new doors. Next, please. And this is the rendering that illustrates how the building will look like after the renovation. Next, please. This is just a standard DPR materials that we will be using on the project. Next. And these are just some of the standard materials that we'll be using on the interior of the building. And that concludes the presentation. I'll take the questions if there's any.
Thank you for that. Okay, if any board members have any questions, please
I have
raise
a
your hand.
question.
Yes.
The sketch showed that there was one, oh my God, I just got that there was just one, stall. Thank you. Just one stall. Is it just one stall, or there, and then here, this, standard DPR bathroom partition shows that it's more than one stall. So how many, do you know how many stalls are going to be in the bathroom?
Can you please go to the slide what that shows the plan? Yes, this one here.
Here,
Thank you.
yeah, that shows only one stall.
Right. So due to the ADA requirements and the given existing condition of the building, we can only put one stall in each room. So each bathroom gets one stall. Yes. It's not a unisex bathroom. It's not a single occupant. It's just given the existing condition of the bathroom, we able to put just a one single stall with a lavatory and a baby changing station. So the room can be used, with someone changing the baby while someone is using the bathroom or someone washing their hands. So we cannot say that it's a single use. This is not a single use, but based on the given parameters of the building and ADA requirements, it just comes out to one cubicle per bathroom.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
I have another question. And so the room for all the for the electrical furnace, and that looks like there's a lot of room there. I'm just curious. That looks like a lot of wasted space there, but you're saying that that
Well,
wall that divides the two areas is not cannot be moved so that you would create an area with more stalls?
yeah, I apologize. This slide is not graphically presented right, but the mechanical room is much occupied. It's just not illustrated well here. There's also electrical panels. There's also RPZ piping. There's a lot going on there. This slide just illustrates the overall building layout. It's not detailed enough, but and also the wall between the mechanical room and bathrooms is structural. That's what's holding up the roof, so we are unable to move it any further.
Hi, this is Marlisa. I'm design director at Citywide. It's on Parks Department. And I just wanted to chime in to say that this is a very standard layout. This is how Parks lays out all of the reconstructions for our standard 20-foot by 20-foot comfort stations throughout the 5 boroughs. So this mechanical room is not larger than any others. The building is not being shortchanged. This is the standard ADA compliant layout that gives the most space we're able to for each bathroom, while providing code compliance and all the space required for the utilities within the mechanical room.
Thank you. And we had a question from Matt.
No, I regret the negativism and cynicism that creeps into so many of our conversations. But I echo what Sandy said, and would just say that we're spending $1.5 million on 400 square feet. One would think that, you know, a second stall in the ladies' room, a urinal in the men's room would be something that could be managed for $1.5 million bucks. But you know, so it's unfortunate, I think, that there is a diminution in service to the public because of the lack of facilities. That's all.
Thank you, Matt. I also have 2 comments. Is there any way that there can be a toilet installed for, I would think a park employee would be going into the mechanical room. It looks like there's a sink there. What about if they need to also use the restroom? There's no toilet in the mechanical room for an employee.
That sink that you see in the mechanical room is a slab sink that's used for the janitor. The parks employees as well are able to use the public bathrooms.
And in the men's bathroom, is there a toilet and a urinal?
No, it's just a toilet.
Just a toilet, okay. Is there any way you can look into putting a urinal in there?
Like I said, given the restrictions and the existing footprint of the room, there's not enough room to put in a urinal there.
Okay, and I have one more comment. This is more of a design comment. The structure on the outside is very classical. It has, you know, limestone and the slate roof. And I did see the light fixtures that were being used. They're very like basic, like plain Home Depot. Is there any way to get more classical light fixtures for the outside? I know it's more of a design question, but it just seems more fitting.
DPR has a standard light fixtures that we use on all of our buildings, and deviating from that standard will have to be look into it. But to answer your question, this is just a standard light fixture that we use on throughout on our projects.
Okay.
And hi, this is Marlisa chiming in again. The reason why we have these standards across all of our 700 plus very similar comfort stations throughout the city is so that when a light goes out or there's a vandalism issue, we have immediately that replacement fixture on hand and can ensure that there's not a break in service and functionality of the building for the public. So by using these standard fixtures, we're able to make sure that our comfort stations are kept in the best working condition for the public use consistently.
Does anyone have any other questions or comments?
Oh, yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
Yes, I just want to ask to know that how much, I would say, sabotage or abuse proof? 50%, 80%? I'm not expecting too high. If you have like half, 50%, that will be all right. The thing's very sturdy, very strong.
All of the park standard fixtures are vandal resistant and have been heavily tested for that. This is part of how we choose our standard fixtures, is by installing them, testing them, and so these are very strong and durable fixtures.
Any other comments from the board? Questions?
So Marilyn, it's not from the board, but I did ask Ashley just before the board votes when the committee recommendation comes out to discuss any notes or questions that were brought up at the meeting, and I want to bring up a few of them. Those who don't know, Hoffman Park is about to undergo a major redesign sometime later on in next year or two. So one of the questions that was asked, will this coincide with that? And the answer is no, it will not. This is entirely independent. Again, these questions weren't asked, but I wanted to bring up notes that were brought up tonight at the meeting. And to bring up to rather reference all the inquiries regarding the expenses. And yes, the fact is that everybody knows this. We worked for the city for any amount of years. The most expensive, most difficult things to implement in parks is always restrooms. And one of the members on the committee did request, and I have not yet gotten it, but I will gladly share it with you, that one of the members on the committee did ask that we get a price breakdown, a cost breakdown, and where exactly are the millions going into when it comes to putting a restroom into place. So once I acquire that, which is in fact public knowledge, I'll gladly share it with the rest of the board. But that's those are maybe 2 out of maybe 3 questions that were brought up tonight at the meeting. Thanks.
Thank you, Christian. So if there's no other comments or questions from the board, we will move on.
This is Rama. I have a question.
Sure.
During the work done, is parks going to provide alternate bathrooms for the public?
Hi, this is Maggie.
Go ahead.
Did you want
Go
to
ahead,
take that,
Maurice.
Michael? Okay. I was just going to say that's something that we can do and that we coordinate with the borough maintenance and operations staff.
Okay, great. Any other questions or comments? Okay, I don't see any, so we're going to move on. Thank you very much for this presentation.
Thank you.
And we will now move on to any other discussion, but ultimately we need to vote on this.
Marilyn, I think that the main thing is we have to get what the committee recommendation was. So at this point, we could turn over the floor to Ashley, have a report or whatever, and then just get whatever the committee recommendation was. If in fact there's anything else Ashley wants to say.
Sure,
I'm not telling you how to run your meeting, by the way, but yeah.
No, well, does the committee have a recommendation?
Yes, of course. Ashley.
Hi. So the committee met on the 27th. We had a quorum and we were satisfied with the presentation and we were satisfied with all of our concerns were addressed. We learned that the conversation will be fully ADA accessible and we were satisfied with the timeline. The proposed timeline was that the work would begin in August of 2020 and be complete by October of 2022 and be completed by October of 2022. So, and we also learned that, like, as Christian said, that this will not overlap with the capital project that will be going on in the park next year sometime. So our recommendation is to approve the proposal.
Okay, thank you, Ashley. And then was there any other recommendations or just to approve?
We agree to approve.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so you all heard the committee's report, approval. Does anyone like to make a motion?
Hi, I'll move approval of the motion of the reconstruction.
Okay, Matt,
I second it, Lou Walker.
okay. Do we have to do a roll call or is everybody comfortable with this motion?
I vote no, Georgina.
Okay, so we'll do a roll call. So the motion on the floor is to approve the presentation as presented by the Parks Department. Okay, so Renoka.
I approve.
Michelle Calderon.
Oh, shoot. I approve. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Valerie Calderon. Okay. Chao Chung Chen.
Yes, I agree.
Jamie Cho.
I approve.
Linda Carell. Michelle Dunstan.
I approve.
I approve myself, Marlene Champino. Rama Kadukna.
I approve.
Vincent Wasella.
I approve.
Carol Maholsky.
I approve.
Sunil Mahat.
I approve.
Abu Mahmood, sorry. Okay, moving on. Matthew McElroy. Well, obviously you made the motion. Ravenia McGowan. Thank you.
Say approve. Yes, I approve.
Okay, thank you, Ravenia.
Oh, man. Oh.
Mac Ryan Merchan.
I vote yes.
Thank you. Jose Murillo.
Yes, I approve.
Edgar Moya.
I approve.
Sandra Munoz.
All right, so I'm actually going not to approve until I see a price breakdown. And I'm not going to continue discussing it except for that $1.4 million. I don't know. So that's my objection.
Okay, thank you. G. Oliver.
Abstain.
Is there a reason to abstain? Is there any conflict you have, or you just don't want to vote?
I need more information before I make a final decision.
Okay, so you're gonna have to say a no then.
No, I need more information, so I can't make an informed decision yet, which is why I'm abstaining.
Well, I'm sorry if I have to jump in. Like, no, I think that's not the way abstentions work. I mean, it's not an account of not receiving more information. You have a right.
Okay, you're not talking to Georgina, Christian. This is Georgina.
I know, I understand that. I understand that. No, that's perfectly. That's why I said
thought you
that.
called
But
my
no,
name.
of course, no. But I mean, we know that that's not the way abstentions work. You can't just abstain an account if you don't receive enough information. All the information has been provided. So it's
Well,
either
I
a
agree
yes
with
or a no.
needing
But
a
you
price
abstain if you
point,
have a
too.
conflict of interest.
I
All right, so
agree
it's
on
no
needing-
unless you receive a price point. Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with her.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Georgina Oliver.
And my objection and no is based on that money for the bathroom and why can't they fix the bathrooms to include all the stuff that was missing?
Okay, thank you, Georgina. Alexandra Owens. Alex. I'm gonna skip her for now. Shrima Pandey.
I vote yes.
Peru Panthy.
Yes.
Okay, Lindsay Cortini.
Hi, so I do have to abstain. I work at the Parks Department and I'm actually very close to this project. So I have to abstain.
Okay, thank you, Lindsay. Brian Ramirez. Ashley Reed.
I vote yes.
Thank you. Christian Romero. No, he's here. I'm gonna skip over him. Clara Salas.
I approve.
Bergen Sherpa. Alton Derek Smith.
Okay, I approve.
Thank you. Charlie Tetzavesky. I don't know if they were here or not. Okay. Lou Walker.
I vote yes to the motion.
Thank you. Minwen Yang.
Yes.
Thank you. Did I miss anybody that either was not counted present or just didn't hear me?
So I had an issue with my mute button, but I vote yes.
Okay, thank you, Alex.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Okay, so that's it. And the motion passes. Okay, thank you so much. And if we do get information, like Christian said, in terms of the cost breakdown, we will share it, with the board. Okay, so moving on. We're going to go to report and vote, the Public Safety and Homeland Security Committee.
Okay, so Christina has the report. She will read the report and then.
Thank you, Georgina.
Thank you, everyone. I think our Parks Department folks are going to sign off from the meeting, and I just wanted to thank you all for your time and consideration of the project. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
And thank you to you, Parks. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, so the Public Safety Committee met last Thursday, and these are the denials. Number 5 on the new and temporary permit applicants, Poyos de Maria Corp. It was denied because they did not show up to the meeting. In the renewals, we have number 1, Alfonso's Tapas Bar Corp., located at 7515 Broadway. That was denied because they did not come to the meeting. Next up is number 5 on the new renewals, El Trio Corp., located at 10201 44th Avenue. That was also denied for a no-show. Next up, number 6, Shanghai Zen Gong Fu Restaurant, Inc., located at 86-16 Queens Boulevard. They also did not come to the meeting. And finally, Terraza Coffee Bar and Art Corp., located at 40-19 Glean Street. They also did not attend the meeting.
Thank you, Christina.
No problem. So would anyone like to make a motion, or does anyone have any comments?
I make a motion to approve the committee's recommendations.
Second by Georgina.
Okay, thank you. Does everyone say yes, or does anyone have any no's or abstentions if we have to do a roll call?
I just have a question. Do we
Sure.
know why, I mean, that seemed like a significant number of businesses that didn't come. Do we know why there's such a large absence at all?
Some of them responded, 1 or 2 of them responded saying they were coming, and then they never showed up. Terraza, they actually got their license already because it was a renewal. And because of the very short turnaround time we have, unfortunately, they got renewed already.
Okay. Okay, no other questions.
Thank you.
I have a quick question.
So I was just wondering, is it possible for committee members to visit the businesses at their storefront? Because I know that a lot of businesses have issues with scheduling and they're so busy and sometimes they just can't make the meetings. So I was just wondering if that's a possibility.
Okay, so I'll certainly try.
Yeah.
I will guide Georgina if you want to.
No, I said that's for Christian to
Were you
answer.
about to pass it on to me?
Yes, because
Okay. All right. So
think
Jamie.
Georgina, me, and you all know the answer to this, but go ahead,
yes,
Christian.
yes.
Okay. So the answer is, Jamie, it was done in the past by the former chair, Lucy Shalero. It's not a safe and common practice, and I would always advance against it. Understand something that you're looking at. These restaurants will not be able to identify you as somebody who can vote in favor of or against their license. It creates a dangerous situation for you. It also creates an even more dangerous situation where you have the ability to either be coerced or bribed by the restaurant. The moment you walk in and say, hey, have a free juice on us, I know you're the person voting on license, it can get a little odd. More so, the other issue is a lot of our board members wouldn't really know what to look for. This is a committee that's very technical. And of course, I will be sitting down with this committee very soon because there are a lot of questions. But it is a very technical committee to know exactly what to look for, to be able to identify what sales to a minor is, sales to a factor, et cetera, is a very, very, very difficult thing to do. And again, I will tell you this much, it's very ill-advised, and I would certainly vouch against it. What I will say is this. We are planning, both Christine and I, again, I've been doing this for about 20 years now, handling liquor licenses. Christine's been doing it for a substantial amount of time. We do plan on solidifying and really coming up with a much more solid standard operating procedure for that committee. What is supposed to happen? What are the timelines? What are the time frames? And possibly even create a questionnaire that could be sent out to the restaurants in advance so we know what we're walking into before they show up, because that happens too often. They'll come by and they have no idea. So, okay.
Excellent on the question here.
Currently, yeah. Okay. So Jamie, I hope that helps. You can do it, but it's certainly ill-advised. I would highly recommend against it.
I like the idea of the questionnaire, Christian, very much.
Correct. Yes, of course. And I'll sit down with your committee. I know that at the last committee meeting, there were a lot of questions. But again, I don't want to keep this meeting bogged down. We'll certainly discuss that offline. But Jamie, the short answer is you certainly can, but it comes with far too many pitfalls and too many questions regarding what we're allowed to be doing. So I would advise against it.
Okay, thank you. And now there is a motion on the floor. Is there any questions pertaining to the motion? Is there any no's? There's any abstentions? If not, the motion is going to pass. Okay, I don't see anybody or any questions. So the motion passes. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so now we'll be moving on to the committee reports. Consumer Affairs. Michelle? Is she still with us? Or? Yeah,
Michelle Dunstan? Oh.
I see, yeah. Yeah, Michelle.
Michelle Dunstan?
Yeah, of course, for Consumer Affairs.
Yes. So we haven't met. We're looking forward to expanding and hoping that people can join. We really need your participation. We are encouraging the new members because things are going up, the prices and things. So we're asking people to come on, and next month we'll have a meeting, and I'll have a report.
Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, and I forgot to mention in the beginning of my report, but now that we're on to committees, I did, the chair places everybody in their committees. It usually happens in September, but since we got our new board members on early, and we're having issues with our committees, especially attendance and quorums, we were able to put all the new board members on committees for for the time being until we have to reassign the committees officially in September. So every committee got a new, 1 or 2 new board members, and I did shift some people around so that every committee does not have a bunch of people that don't show up. So basically, every committee has about 1 person that really doesn't participate Unfortunately, that's the best I could do right now. So every committee should be functioning better. And I do hope that old members and new members all attend their assigned committees, and then we'll revisit that in September. So I'm so sorry I forgot to announce it in the beginning. The next committee, environmental. Carol?
The committee had a meeting on May 4th, and we had a quorum present. We had 2 speakers from the Department of Environmental Protection, Mr. Oliveri and Mr. Lee, and there were 2 topics under discussion. The lead line replacement program, which was a state policy of zero lead in the water, but the program is no longer in functioning. It ended in 2021. Grant funds ran out. This time there's no plan to reactivate it. The rain gardens, which was a big topic for the controller, the way he audited the rain garden program. The first thing I wanted to find out from them was, what is the goal for these rain gardens? And they said that it was to capture water from rain and storms, reduce overflow, and reduce some street flooding. Well, I'm not sure if it's meeting its goal, and particularly because of the maintenance. They couldn't tell us exactly what the schedule is for maintaining these gardens. They said that after they're completed, they're supposed to be every 6 weeks, but it was also said that they don't have enough staff. But they're still not saying that they keep a good track of when they are maintained. They plan to hire more staff, but so far nothing has been really done about that. As far as the issue of people behaving destructively with the rain gardens by putting things like garbage or chemicals in the rain gardens, there's no law currently on the books to ticket those people, although there may be one in the future. Apparently somebody in DEP is thinking of getting some teeth into their program so they can discourage destruction of the rain gardens. There is no report for QSWAB because of a lack of communication on my part. The next QSWAB meeting, though, is May 25th. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Carol. And I agree with the rain gardens. There needs to be more maintenance and also some type of fines or some type of enforcement, because there's so much going on with that.
Well, at the meeting, Christian pointed out that initially with the rain gardens, there was ticketing being done by sanitation, I believe he said. And then DEP gave a mixed message to the people that were where the rain gardens were in front of their property, and told them that they didn't have to, they weren't going to be ticketed and not to do anything about the ones they already got. So that sort of let the door open for people to do whatever they wanted with them, which is not helping any. It doesn't meet the goals for the program. If you put garbage in the garden, what's it going to absorb? It's not going to do much about absorbing the rainwater from like, say, Hurricane Ida.
Right. No, very good point.
Marilyn, if I'd like to jump in really quickly
Yeah,
to all
sure.
the board members, one thing that I did specifically request was just that we needed just some kind of a maintenance schedule, but to at least show us which have been maintained, which have been looked at, and how often. So what I'd like to tell the members is, DEP is, I'm not going to say claiming, because it sounds like I'd say they were lying. They're stating that they would like a list of any rain gardens that we know that need maintenance. So I'm encouraging you, members, all of us, if you see a rain garden out there, you see them all the time. If you see a rain garden out there that doesn't look right, that looks incomplete, that looks like it hasn't been cleaned in weeks, days, months, whatever, try to take a photo of it, or at the very least, give us a call at the office. A lot of you have my number. Just text me, reach out to the board office however you can. Let us know what the location of the rain garden is, and then we'll give it to DEP as a final list to give them all the rain gardens. Because again, they're claiming that it's being done, and I know for a fact that it's not. So just help me out of here. You know, be our eyes and ears out there. And if you see a rain garden that's not maintained, do get get in contact with the board office, and we'll figure out a way to get it to DEP. Thanks.
Thank you. That's great. Thank you, Christian. Okay, moving on, Health and Human Services.
And good evening, everyone. On this Human Services Committee, we had a very successful meeting. Our first meeting was very successful. After that meeting, no one attended. Only one person, Mr. Sunil Mahat, attended the meetings and the presenters. And of course, we decided not to proceed because of lack of participation of the membership. If you feel that you join this board and you don't have to attend any committee meetings, please inform the chairperson and the district manager, because you are wrong. If you don't want to be a member of the health committee, please also inform the chairperson and the district manager. I'm talking to Michelle Calderon, Valerie Calderon, Sunil Mahat, Abu Safar, and Edgar Moya. I really don't know if we're going to have a meeting this May, at the end of May. It's a lot of work. It's a labor of work, love and hard work to find a speaker, to plan for a committee meeting, and it's really very discouraging to have just one person or two people show up. So I don't know if we're going to have a meeting this May. I'm going to have to discuss this further with the Mrs. Yampi and Mr. Casanova about this matter. And then from there, after what we decide, what we have to decide, we will proceed and we will inform you. But I'm letting you know clearly that I'm not going to accept you if you don't want to come. If you don't want to come to any committee meeting, tell Christian and tell Maranella. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Clara. Transportation Committee. Matt.
Hi guys. Yeah, unmuting. So there's a little bit of news which I want to share. The first is that Christian's favorite always stop sign at 104th Street and 46th Avenue apparently has been approved by DOT. So congratulations to anyone who visits the office on that front. That's good news. The other piece of news is that there is a new, and the first in Community Board 4, a new electrical vehicle charging station established by the city at 41st and Baxter near the hospital, near Elmhurst Hospital. And I guess that's progress. There are two projects proposed by DOT forthcoming. One, they are both safety improvements at intersections. One is where Woodside Avenue meets Broadway at Baxter Avenue. The other is where Britton Avenue hits Roosevelt. The DOT will be presenting at our next Transportation Committee, which is next Tuesday, the 17th. And anybody who is impacted by this is totally welcome to come in on it. Only other piece of news is this. The board received a letter from the MTA asking for a letter to US DOT in support of the Interborough Express project. Now, a few months back, the Transportation Committee had a long and excellent conversation about this project, which is the use of the freight rail between the Hellgate Bridge and Sunset Park in Brooklyn, and the establishment of passenger service along it. The feeling of the committee was that it was a very promising project and offered a lot of benefits, and that there were a lot of questions that needed to be answered before we took a position formally, like where the station's going to go, the connection at 74th and Roosevelt to the freight line, which is actually about a block and a half away, and the mode of transit. They're considering the buses, heavy trains, and light rail like tram service. I polled the committee over the last few days after we got this letter, and the committee is supportive of sending a letter, unanimously supportive of the people who responded, sending a letter supporting U.S. funding, federal funding under the new infrastructure bill for preliminary design and engineering, precisely so that those questions can be answered. I would like to do that in the name of the board, if that is okay with everybody. Mary Elena, I don't know how we would deal with that, a motion or whatever.
I don't know. I mean, because we don't have, I don't know if anyone, that's hard. I mean, maybe just make the committee recommendation only because, I mean, we could do a roll call if you want. I just don't know.
But yes, but no presentation has been made to the whole board. Sure, we'll just do it for the committee. That's fine. That's fine.
What did they ask you exactly? They just wanted like a letter of support.
They wanted a letter of support for the project and the feeling of funding for preliminary engineering. The feeling of the committee was that we didn't want to give a blank check approval to the whole project, but that we did support preliminary design and engineering so that we could know where the stations would go, where the connection at 74th would be, how that would be handled, and what kind of vehicles would be used, trains, buses, trams, and any other questions that are open out there.
So in your letter, are you going to be stating all those questions that from the committee?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
you are.
I think so.
Okay.
Yes. Just not asking them, just explaining our position is that we do support funding in order that these questions be answered.
Okay. Christian, I mean, I know the committee definitely can write. I think that's great that you guys are going to write that. I just don't know how I feel about the whole board. So
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't touch on the whole board. I would, as Matt said, I think a letter from the committee is clearly cuts. It would have, the transportation committee of CB4. The five or six or so members can clearly put their name on it. I mean, those who are on board with it, and that's it. I don't think it's somewhat careless to go by the full board on this one. I wouldn't touch anybody on that.
Okay. Yeah, and I really think it's great to write that and to write all the the comments that you said on there. I think that would be great, and I'm hoping that they write back or they give us some type of like you said, a plan so we know a little bit more, because it is a good idea, but I don't know if they gave us much information.
Right. Well, I think that's sort of the point.
Exactly.
Right,
Mr.
and you know what,
Chen,
Marilyn? Go ahead, Mr. Chen. Go ahead.
Mr. Chen, you had a question?
I would like to use this opportunity to say something. Thank you for the committee board, for also the chair, Matthew McGrory, help install a new pedestrian traffic light just on the corner of Whitney Avenue and Broadway. It's new. Now you stand up now. Thank you so much.
Alina, can I make a request, please?
Sure. Is this pertaining to the transportation committee?
It's pertain to the transportation committee.
Okay, sure.
For future.
Yeah.
So on 57th Avenue and Junction Boulevard is a really bad intersection there where you turn left from Junction, either east or going west, right? Many people have been killed and badly injured in that intersection. Galloway, bless his soul, rest in peace, fought for years to get a turn light there. It has never, ever happened. And I believe it is a really dangerous corner. And I would appreciate if the Transportation Committee can take another look at that intersection, please. Get reports from the police department, find out what's going on, why they have never done a left turn on that block.
Will
So
do.
it's
Can do.
57th
Will do.
Avenue.
Yeah, got it. Junction at 57. Understood.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Matt, do you have anything else for the report?
Oh,
Or?
that's it. Just if anybody's interested in those two intersections I mentioned, our transportation committee meeting is next Tuesday at 6:15.
Okay.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you so much, Matt. And yeah, give us updates. Thank you so much. The next committee, ULURP and zoning.
Good evening, everyone. We haven't met, but we do have an application, as Kristen had mentioned. It's an application from the bazaar to build a residential unit and to change the zoning from a C1 commercial overlay and to get rid of the BSA variants. The application goes for certification on June 6th of this year. It's a complicated application. I'm able to view it actually now because when I received the application, the technology to upload it I couldn't get, so I had to use the old-fashioned way. So basically, hold on one second. Let me just describe. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, all right. So this proposal, I'm gonna give you a description of the proposal. The rezoning would facilitate the development of the new building, approximately 88,400 square feet, mixed-use building. The new building would contain approximately 24,500 of the supermarket floor area on the ground floor, plus an additional 5,000 square feet of the supermarket back of house and 25 supermarket parking spaces in the cellar and approximately 3,000 square feet of loading space on the ground floor. The new building, 41 residential parking spaces, will be located on the second floor with approximately 82 dwelling units above. The new building will contain a total of approximately 82,000 square feet of market rate housing pursuant to development right of existing resident zoning, meaning that basically as of a right, they can charge whatever they want. It would be a free market apartment. It's not subject to MIH because that part is not being rezoned. The applicant is contemplating an affordable New York residential component. We have no idea what that is or what it might be about. The new building, and this is the last paragraph, the new building will rise to 75 feet, 6 stories on 57th Avenue with a setback above the 5th floor, meaning it will go up a few steps and then step back. The new building would be 31 feet, 2 stories on the majority of development site on 97 Place frontage and would be between 3 and 4 stories, a maximum of 55 feet on the majority of the development on 98th Street frontage. The new building would have 3 curb cuts, 2 on 98th Street providing access to the new building loading, and a residential parking area, and 1 on 97th Street providing access to proposed supermarket parking. So that's the description of the new development. It's kind of complicated because again, they need to change. They need to change the zoning to make this happen. And so Chris and I talked with Kathy Cole today about this proposal. Obviously, you have to go to a hearing. Everyone in the area, including Lift-Rack and Sherwood, would have to be put on notice. So it is a huge undertaking. The other part about this proposal, we can meet with the owner prior, anytime, even before the certification, to get a clear view of what this proposal is about. So that would mean that you would have to have a meeting to actually view what the owner proposal is. And I'm thinking that since it would be only to view the owner proposal, not to make a recommendation, because it have not been certified and we will have to have a hearing. But because it is so complex, we probably need time to really study this proposal because they have a lot of twists and turns. So I'm thinking that you'll really need to meet probably the end of May before the certification and ask the owner, the applicant, to come in and explain what their proposal is. And on that note, I know that, I've been holding you up meeting, and again, what Clara has mentioned is that we having problems with attendance, but I would strongly suggest that each committee member make a strong effort to attend the meeting, because this is a huge project. It's not something that one person can handle by themselves. Any questions? That concludes my report. Are there any questions?
Who is this? This is Vince Ilicella. Who is listed? Is it owned by Bogopar Corporation? The property in question, or is it a?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. All right. Only because I used to deal exclusively with the food bazaars from when it was 1 to 47 stores. So and also living down in the Brisbane for a year, I noticed the delivery trucks presented a serious problem to the surrounding community, even coming onto left right property when making U-turns. So I'll definitely help you guys out. I've learned over the years with that corporation itself, they're not exactly the friendly community partner that they present themselves to be. But anything you need, count on my support. But I'd be very weary of rewarding them with anything until they start giving back a little bit more. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Betsy.
So Alton, can you, I know I'll be in touch with you and Christian. So we really want to make sure that the public is aware and we have enough time to give them notice, when we have to do a public hearing. And we want to, of course, include, as much people as we can in the community to be aware of this project and the public hearing in the future. So we'll all be in touch with it and keep everyone posted. Thank you, Chris, Alton, for the information.
You're welcome. Take care.
And Youth Services Committee. Sylvia's not here, am I correct? Yeah, I don't think she's here tonight. And I just want to say, I know we touched upon the Parks Committee earlier and the public safety, but does Ashley or Georgina have anything to say besides the vote that we had to do?
No, nothing further.
Okay, thank you, Ashley. Georgina?
No, nothing else. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to conclude with the committees. We do need attendance. So everyone, please try your best to attend. And also, if you're not on that committee, of course, you can attend the meeting and, you could always ask questions and comment. But yeah, we got to get stronger with these committees. Okay, so moving on, open session number 2. Any members have anything to add? Any board members?
If I may,
Sure.
Chair. Thank you. Just a question to, I guess, the chair and and even Christian, in terms of excuse me, I'm blanking out right now. The flood gardens, that sounds familiar. Yeah.
Oh, the
The
rain
flood gardens, the rain gardens, yes, thank you. What exactly, because I'll try to help out and walk around and see what I can spot. What exactly would be like a major thing besides, like, of course, like a massive garbage bag in there that we should be keeping an eye out for, like, because I heard the phrase incomplete rain garden and I don't know personally what that means.
Yeah, Mac, I can actually talk about this. So I've actually sent in the past so many rain gardens. So like to the board, to Margaret actually, and she's able to reach out to the to them about, like, maintenance. So basically, incomplete means just that they have dirt there with no shrubbery, no tree, nothing to absorb the paint. So incomplete just means a little gate and then the dirt inside, basically. And then other than there's garbage, there's dumping, there's chemicals being dumped. Sometimes they're overflowing with water. And I actually have to give one because there's one restaurant that just keeps on cleaning stuff, and all the water, the whole rain garden is just filled with water, and all the plants are dead. So just like any issues like that, please pass to the board office. I mean, there could be more issues. Maybe the little gate around it is broken or needs to be repaired. There's tons of issues that could be wrong with a rain garden.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Also, this Michelle Dunstan. Also the Left Rack City Tenants Association, we adopted those rain gardens on Junction Boulevard. So we try to keep them, when we see them. We partnered up with the Parks Department and Councilman Moya to get, we was going to officially adopt the gardens and everything. So as the weather get warmer, I'm sure those rain gardens will be taken care of because I'm the president, and I look forward to making those beautiful.
That's
So,
great.
I mean, I'm sorry, may I jump in? Sorry, I mean, I feel like I'm going to be the harbinger of bad news, but Michelle, I just want to be clear that there's not a confusion on that. Years back, when DP, again, as Ms. Mahalski mentioned earlier, there was a confusion over who was supposed to maintain it. Was it the resident whose garden it was in front of, or was it DEP? Ultimately, sanitation was in fact summoning residents for doing exactly what you're doing, which is be careful when it comes to those gardens. Again, as far as I understand, definitely confirm with DEP because there are plants in there that should not be removed and shouldn't be touched because they're a part of that garden. So certainly, it's a great effort, but if it's just basic garbage cleanup off the top, absolutely. But DEP, my understanding is DEP is very strongly discouraging anybody from touching those gardens. So just do please bear that in mind. Like just basic cleanup works, but anything past that, but I'll definitely confirm that with you, Michelle. It's a good job.
Okay.
Really.
All right, fine.
Thanks.
Great.
So also about those like a rain garden, I would like express some opinion to the community or to our city government, because majority of the population or the New Yorkers, I don't know how many do the functioning of that, because people do not understand. I don't understand what the function, how to, so that's why many people threw the garbage or dumping something out there.
Well, Mr. Chen, okay, Mr. Chair, with all due respect, if people are dumping garbage in their rain gardens, that's just pure ignorance on their part. Everybody knows it's not a garbage. However, hold on. However, to answer your question as to you saying that you don't understand how the rain gardens work, or rather if it hasn't been clear to you, we will make an attempt at having DEP come back, but please understand that this is the very board that first saw rain gardens for the first time. Maybe you weren't part of the board at that time, but the rain gardens were explained to us in detail. They're in our needs statements every year, and it's been on needs statements for the longest time. I wrote the panel myself. So there should be a solid understanding on this board on how rain gardens work, and if it hasn't, then we should certainly reference minutes from previous years. Again, unless we want DEP to come back and give us a rundown again on how they work. But it's easily accessible information. It's online, and it has been presented to our board in the past. So I'm discouraged to think that we still don't know how they work exactly.
And also, they're there to prevent the flooding because it's on a slant. Most of the sidewalks are slanted into the gutter. So those rain gardens prevent flooding. So that's one of the uses of them. And you could go further, to find out more, reasons why we have them. But I know that that's one of the reasons, to prevent the flooding.
Thank you, Michelle.
Marilena, I
Yeah.
have something to mention. In Corona and Elmhurst, the graffiti problem continues to be from bad to worse, and nothing is being done about it. I don't know if the new mayor's office, I know that in the past administration, and the last administration, we had a program for to encourage the owners, landlord to get rid of the graffiti. I noticed in some buildings that the landlord do it constantly. And others that the situation is completely neglected, but it's pretty awful. As you drive through Corona and Elmhurst, you see house after house, wall after wall full of graffiti. Now, the sanitation department has improved. In the Queens Boulevard Central Median, I think because due to, I called city mission, I called the Queens Board President's office, and finally I decided 1 week I called every day the sanitation department till finally gave up, and they cleaned up the Central Median from the garbage, the dead trees, and the wind. So that they have continued off and on to clean up the Central Median of Queens Boulevard from Horace Harding to the Long Island Railroad. And the sanitation also sweeps on Mondays, and I think Mondays or Tuesdays, once a week or twice a week. But I know I see them, I see the trucks, I see them cleaning, I see the streets in the business district of Broadway cleaner 1 or 2 days a week, which is a change. So it's very encouraging. But in terms of the graffiti, I would like to find out if your office can contact the mayor's office and find out what program is the 60, what programs they have. And if the past programs they have with the Blasio administration continue with the Adams administration. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Clara. Yes, it is a problem with graffiti. And Christian, I know it's like May already. I don't think we have a rep from the new mayor's office yet. So I think that's something we also have to look into. It's you know, the new mayor.
We've actually had a few, and one left recently and was replaced, but I will get you whoever our mayor.
You know, I feel like we said we had a lot of reps, and then I don't know, they disappeared, and now we have.
There was a turnover. There was a new turnover, but I'll share that with everybody.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because that would be great if, you know, even if people want to reach out, you know, especially with all these issues. Any other board members have anything else to add? No? Okay. All right, so if that's it, then yes?
Oh, I was just saying I make a motion, we adjourn.
Oh, okay, Georgina.
Second.
Second by Carol. Okay, thank you, everyone.
And thank you, Madam Chair, for conducting yet again another fiscal meeting. Thanks to all the members, the new and the city, all the new and the previous. Thank you, guys. Good evening.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Good
Thank
evening.
you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
You're waiting so patiently. You and Tabitha.
I couldn't sign in before, now I can't get out. Oh, here it is. Bye.
Good night. Good night, everyone.